Now it came to pass, in the days when the judges ruled, that there was a famine in the land, and a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. That was a bad move on their part. Better poverty with the people of God than plenty outside of the covenanted land. And the name of the man was Elimelech. Elimelech, it means my God is king, a man with such a name that ought not to have left the kingdom where his God was king. But some people are not worthy of the names they bear. And the name of his wife, Naomi, and the name of his 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrates of Bethlehem, Judah. And they came into the country of Moab and continued there. That is generally what happens. Those who go into the country of Moab continue there. If Christians go away from their separated life, they are very apt to continue in that condition. It may be easy to say, I will step aside from the Christian path for just a little while, but it is not so easy to return to it. Usually something or other hampers. The birdlime catches the birds of paradise and holds them fast. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left, and her 2 sons. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of the one was Orpah, and the name of the other Ruth. And they dwelled there about 10 years, which was about 10 years too long. Probably they did not intend to remain so long when they went there. They only meant to be in Moab for a little while, just as Christian people, when they fall into worldly conformity, only propose to do it once, for the sake of the girls, to bring them out a little. But it happens to them, as it is written here, and they dwelled there about 10 years. And Mahlon and Chilion died also, both of them, and the woman was left with her 2 sons, was left of her 2 sons and her husband. That seemed to be her great grief, that she was left. She would have been content to go with them, but she was left to mourn their loss. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return from the country of Moab. As is often the case when our idols are broken, we turn back to our God. It is frequently the case that the loss of earthly goods leads us to return to our first husband, for we feel that then it was better with us than it is now. Naomi had also another inducement to return, for she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Lord had visited his people in giving them bread. Have any of you professors gone a long way off from God? I wish you knew that what plenty there is in the great Father's house, and what a blessed feast there is for those who live with him. There is no famine in that land. There is plenty of gladness, plenty of comfort, plenty of everything that is joyful to be found there. You need not go to Moab and to her false gods to find pleasure and satisfaction. Therefore she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her, and they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah. And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-law, Go return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you, as you have dealt with the dead and with me. The Lord grant you that you may find rest, each of you in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and wept. Separation was painful to them, for they loved their mother-in-law, a most unselfish person, who, even though it was a comfort to her to enjoy their company, thought it would be for their good, in a temporal sense, that they should live in their own country. And they said unto her, Surely we will return with you unto your people. And Naomi said, Turn again, my daughters. Why will you go with me? Are there yet any more sons in my womb, that they may be your husbands? Turn again, my daughters. Go your way. I am too old to have a husband. If I should say, I have hope, if I should have a husband also tonight, and should also bear sons, would you tarry for them till they were grown? Would you stay for them from having husbands? No, my daughters, for it grieves me much for your sakes, that the hand of the Lord is gone out against me. And they lifted up their voice and wept again. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung unto her. What a difference there often is between two persons who are under religious impressions at the same time. The one would like to follow Jesus, but the price to pay is too much. So there is a kiss somewhat like that of Judas, and Orpah goes back to her people and to her idols. But how different was the other case. Ruth was, as it were, glued to Naomi. She cleaved unto her, stuck to her, and could not be made to go back with her sister. And she said, Behold, your sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Return you after your sister-in-law. And Ruth said, Entreat me not to leave you, or to return from following after you. For where you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if anything but death parts you and me. That was bravely spoken, and she meant it too. When she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, then she left off speaking unto her. That is a striking expression, when she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her. Oh, you dear young friends who want to be Christians, how glad we are when we see that you are steadfastly minded to go with the people of God. There are so many who are quickly hot and quickly cold, soon excited towards good things, and almost as speedily their ardor cools, and they go back into the world. Do ask the Lord to make you steadfastly minded. This is one of the best frames of mind for any of us to be in. So the two went until they came to Bethlehem, and it came to pass, when they were come to Bethlehem, that all the city was moved about them, and they said, Is this Naomi? They seemed all to turn out of doors to have a look at these two strangers, and especially at Naomi, for she was so different from what she had been when she went away. And they said, Is this Naomi? Some said, Is this Naomi? Questioning. Others said it was with surprise, as a thing incredible. This Naomi, how can she be the same woman? It was very rude of them to turn out, just like people without sympathy do on Ramsgate Pier, to see the sick passengers land. Nobody seems to have said, Come into our house to lodge, but all questioned, Is this Naomi? And she said unto them, Call me not Naomi, call me not pleasant, call me Mara, that is bitter. For the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. It was a pity for Naomi to say that, yet I fear that many of us have done the same. We have not borne such sweet testimony to the Lord as we might have done, but have sorrowfully moaned, as this poor woman did. Verse 21, I went out full. Why then did you go out? And the Lord has brought me home empty again. But he has brought you home again. Oh, if she would but have noticed the mercy there was in it all, she might still have spoken like Naomi. But now she speaks like Mara, bitterness. Her husband and her two boys, all her heart's delight, were with her when she went out. And now that they are gone, she says, Why then do you call me Naomi, seeing the Lord has testified against me, and the Almighty has afflicted me? Yet it is a sweet thing to be able to trace the hand of God in our affliction, for nothing can come from that hand towards one of his children, but that which is good and right, if we will think of those hands of which the Lord says, I have engraved you upon the palms of my hands. You may rest assured that nothing can come from those hands, but what infinite wisdom directs and infinite love has ordained. So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her, which returned out of the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of barley harvest. That is, at the time of the Passover. Let us hope that they received the blessing in observing the ordinances of that time, and that they were thus helped to get back to the only right and happy state of heart.